And there are many variations of orange chicken, all delicious, but ours is better. So we're going to show you how we do it. And for that, I like to use chicken tenders. And for those of you out there that doesn't know chicken tenders, because in some countries you can't buy them as an individual item. Here, for instance, in Greece you can't. So when we buy a chicken breast double like this, on the back side you have these, which, let's split it one time so I can show you better. We split the breast. You have this piece that hangs behind here, which is called the chicken tender, and it's very different meat from the chicken breast itself. And that means that if you cook it together, they won't cook at the same time, and then you don't get, I mean, the tenders, if you cook them with the chicken breast, they will become stringy because they cook faster. But these are excellent for stir fry, so that's why I like to use them. And all we're going to do with these is we're going to cube them up in bite-sized chunks like this. And also another thing, when we are doing breading like we're going to do today, then this has a texture which is a little bit more open. So it attaches a lot more breading, so you get a much better crumb on your chicken nuggets when you do this. So basically, chicken tenders, that's the way to go. I'll continue making all these. I have quite a lot of them, so we can make some really nice orange chicken. And here we have all our chicken bits ready to go. So now we want to marinate them. And it's a pretty simple marinade. It's part velveting and part flavor. So we're going to go in with a couple of tablespoons of soy sauce. Then we're going to go in with a dash of mirin, which is a sweet Japanese wine, cooking wine, whatever. It tastes good. I don't know, 2 tablespoons of this. 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And very important, a teaspoon of baking soda. That will change the pH and make sure that the chicken doesn't get dry. And then lastly, 1 beaten egg. And then it's all about massage. So on with the glove. I mean, you can do it with your bare hands, but I prefer to use a glove because it's a little bit, yeah. And then we just massage this until we have an even coating on all of our chicken bits. And when this is nice and combined, all we do is we cover it up and we leave it in the fridge while we prepare the rest of our things. Now we're going to mix our sauce, so that's ready for our stir fry at the end. And of course we cannot have orange chicken without orange. So we start with the zest of 1 orange, just with your microplaner, unless you have one of these fancy dedicated zesters, which I don't, but it works fine with this. If you want it extra orangey, you can do 2 oranges on the zest, but I think 1 is enough. And remember that, because half of it sits on your zester. So. And then we're going to take the juice of 2 oranges. That was juicy. And then we're going to add soy sauce, again, around 50 milliliter, 60 milliliter, whatever you have around. You can add more or less depending on how much umami you want. Then we're going to give it a splash of oyster sauce. It's a little bit thick, this one, but like a tablespoon, maybe 2 of oyster sauce. Shaoxing cooking wine, again, a splash. 2-3 tablespoons. If you don't have Shaoxing cooking wine, use a dry sherry, works also. A little bit of sesame oil, roasted sesame oil to be more precise. And then we're going to give it a little bit of hoisin sauce, like 2 tablespoons about. A little bit of red chili flakes. You can make as much as you want. I'm going to go with what smells like half a teaspoon. I don't want to make it too spicy because then I have family that complains. and then I'm using shaved palm sugar. You can use brown sugar, but it really, if you have an Asian market nearby, then go and get some of this. It has a very different smell, almost lemonish smell to it. It's very, very nice sugar compared. Around 3 to 4 tablespoons of that. And then we're going to whisk that together, dissolve all the sugar in here. And that takes very little time. And you probably noticed that in most of this you would add vinegar because it gives that sweet and sour that you need in orange chicken. But I'm doing that, but I'm doing something else with my vinegar. And now we set this aside so it's ready for stir fry. I'm going to take a tablespoon of cornstarch and I'm going to add my vinegar to that to make my slurry, to thicken the sauce in the wok later. So rice vinegar, because I don't want to add any water to this. So I make my slurry with vinegar, and yes, the cornstarch will settle again, and I will have to stir it again before I put it in the sauce, but I want everything ready because once it's in the wok, it goes pretty fast. So have everything ready. And that's it for now. The next step is dredging. And for the dredge, we are using for 350, 400 grams of all-purpose flour. And we're going to mix that with 1/3 of cornstarch. What I forgot to mention before is that the cornstarch I'm using today is tapioca. And it's significantly better than cornstarch also in terms of thickening sauces and stuff like that. So 1/3 goes in here. And then we're going in with a good tablespoon of salt. A little bit more because we also want it to be. And then we're going to mix this good. You want an even combined mixture because we're going to take second bowl because this is not your normal breading station. We take about half of our mixture here. It doesn't have to be very accurate, but give and take about half. And then we are going to create a batter. So we add water, and quite a lot of it, because we want like pancake batter kind of thing. Actually, maybe a little bit thinner, to be honest. It also depends how you make your pancake batter, because if you like thick pancakes, you have to make it thicker. Ta-da. But you have to whisk this pretty good so you don't have any lumps. I mean, if we were doing chicken nuggets, we would probably do panko breadcrumbs and then with a flour, egg, and then panko. But this is a little bit of a different. I want a little bit more water. I think that's about good. Seems no lumps and pretty even, but that's what we're going for. See if I can show you. It's like somewhere like thin batter, wet paint, whatever you want to call it, but that's the texture you're going for. Then we're going to take our chicken first up. And now again, I want my glove because I'm going to take it out of the marinade, all of it, hand by hand, get rid of the excess marinade and dump it right into the flour. Actually, it's a little bit easier this way than it is with a breading station. Oops, get in there. Because when you do the breading station, you know the score, dry hand, wet hand, blah, blah, blah. You have to go through the egg and all of that. Here we just dump everything. And then in with the hands, and we simply mix this until everything is coated with the flour mixture. And that's what's going to make sure that the batter sticks really nice to these. And that's also why I put the egg in from the beginning, because that helps all of this come together. And it helps that our batter sticks to the chicken and doesn't fall off after we fry them and then we stir fry them. So mix this good. That's about it. Then we take our bowl with the batter and we shake off whatever excess we have of flour here, and we put them right here. into the batter. And now away with this, and same story. Now they will be covered in our batter. They will stick a little bit to each other, but we will deal with that once we put them in the fryer. Because this will create, when you see them here, this will create these crumbly parts on the outside that is so crunchy and nice, and it will stay crunchy because of the tapioca, even when we stir fry it in the sauce. And that's what we're looking for. And here you have to be thorough. Do it for a long time so you're sure everything is nice and combined. That's about it. And now it's off to the races. Well, here we are. We are using our deep fat fryer. Obviously, you could do this in a pot with this much oil and fry it in batches like that. But since we have it, it's easier. But this is a little bit like you would do tempura style, because we are just going to lower it in. We don't put them in the basket because then they will stick. So, one by one, slowly, slowly, and do this in batches so you don't cool down the oil too much. I don't think I can fit more than this right now. We let these cook, and don't touch them for the first minute or so, because then you will destroy the crust. And what we're looking for here is GBD, golden brown delicious. The first batch is ready, but mind you, they don't get as golden and brown as they would with breadcrumbs. That's because of the cornstarch or the tapioca. But that doesn't matter because they will be covered in our delicious sauce. But they are ready, so let them get on the rack, and I'll continue with the next batches. And now it's just off to the races. Chicken is looking good. As you can see, they are not as pretty shaped as if you cut a chicken breast like they do in the restaurants, but you get all these little crevices, and that's very good for the sauce. So trust me on this, trust me.
So you have a plan.
No. I'm going with my non-stick wok today because as this is a quick stir fry, I don't need the high heat of my my other gas stove there. So we are going with this one, and we are going to put it up to pretty high temperature, like that. And then we're going to give it some neutral oil, in this case sunflower oil. You could use avocado, canola, something with a relatively high smoke point. You don't want too much, but maybe 3 tablespoons, 2.5, 3 tablespoons. And you want to let that come up to a shimmer, it's called, when it starts shimmering. Then we are ready to go. I have a small onion cut into batons like this because I like that in stir fry. If you want to chop them fine, do that. That's whatever you want. You do you, I do me. And then let's see if it's warm. Not yet. Nice way to test it. Now our little friend is sizzling, so let's get the other ones in here to join him. There we go. Nice. And we want to fry this for a little bit. You don't want the onion to not caramelize, not even get really soft. You want them to be cooked, but still have a crunch here. That's at least what I prefer in a stir fry. But again, you do you. And when they start to get a little bit soft, like now, move them a little bit around. And then I'm going to add a couple of cloves of garlic, minced garlic, and a good tablespoon of minced ginger. I like a lot of ginger, but you can do as little or as much as you prefer. That's all up to you. We just want this to get fragrant. See, now you smell the onion and the garlic, huh? That's nice.
Very nice.
Now we don't want to cook this anymore. We want to add our sauce from before. And now we want to bring that up to a simmer. Remember our vinegar tapioca slurry. Just give it an extra stir here so we don't have any clumps in the bottom. That goes in, and now we let that thicken up for a little bit. As I said, tapioca is very good for this, much better than cornstarch. You see how fast that went? Bada bim, bada boom. And now we have a nice thick glaze for our chicken. In it goes. And now it's just a question of rewarming the chicken and get it coated nicely. Ooh, that smells nice now. And make sure you get all the crevices coated here. Nice and saucy. And there we have it. Nice and beautiful and ready to serve. Super saucy. And now we will plate this off and it's taste test. And there you have it. Beautifully plated up on some jasmine rice straight out of the rice cooker. But that's not the star of the show. That is our beautiful, beautiful chicken bits here. Sesame, a little bit of green onion, perfect bite. Forget Takeout, forget Panda Express and all that. Make this, it's very, very nice. It's excellent, super, super juicy chicken. And the sauce, orangey, very little spice. I would have added more chili, but I have to think of my family.
Don't look on me.
Well, I'm going second if so, because this is good.